Hi everybody, good morning. It's Reva with Quality Sewing and Vacuum, and we are going to have a fun day on our How Do I Make My Own Fabric from Home. A lot of you have the PrintModa, and I know some of you got it for Christmas, so congratulations. But this is really a fun thing. This is a fabric printer, but it's more than just a fabric printer. It actually is an well, I can't say all-in-one because that's a real thing, right? But it will be the only printer you need at home because it's an inkjet printer and it can print on a wide path. So it can print 11 by 17 inch paper. So you can do that. You can print a large piece. I've done that, printed the large ledger size or tabloid size and done like chore charts and things like that. So it's really kind of fun to do. But it also can take a roll of fabric. Now the roll of fabric is really cool and I'm going to show you all that, but what's really cool about that is that when you print your project, the machine, the printer knows when enough is enough, and it will trim the fabric so you have no waste of fabric at all, which is really pretty cool. So let's look at some fun things that you can do with this printer. Now, this is an inkjet printer, and this is one of my favorite little projects because I think these little doggos are so stinking cute, right? But this is just really fun, and look at the beautiful photo quality that you're getting with this print. Now, the fabric that is on the roll is a really nice tight weave cotton, high quality cotton fabric, and it has actually, let me show you, it has a backer on it. When you get just the fabric, can you see the shine there? There we go, there's the shine. So it has this backer on it. You print it, and then when it's done printing, you're gonna let it set flat on the table for at least 15 minutes so the ink can dry. And then you peel off that backing, and you're left with beautiful, soft cotton fabric. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to show you all about that. I'm going to show you the setup. It's probably the easiest setup I've ever had, but I want to show you a couple of things that are fun to do. So I showed you you see the dog pillow here, and I think this was like 28 inches long, which is really fun. But did you know that you can print 11.6 inches wide by 5.4 yards? Crazy, right? So you can make things all different sizes. Now this is a really fun one that I did. I know it's a little bit post. My little couple here celebrated their 1-year anniversary this year, but this was really fun to do, and I will show you how to do the banner. Once we get through kind of looking at some of these samples, I will show you how I did the banner, but it's so easy. So this is my son and his wonderful wife, Maddie, and this was just really a nice thing. Now what I did in this one, I made it so we could hang it, but I also put in here the heat cold barrier fleece from R&K. So this could actually be set on a table and used as a table runner. And it has that thermal property in it, so if you put a casserole dish on it, it's not going to damage your table. You might spill spaghetti sauce on my son, but other than that, it's awesome, right? Okay, so that is this one. I might bring that back up to show you a little bit more here in a minute. And we've got our doggos here, right? Cute, seriously, so much fun. Now here's another thing that you can do. If you have a picture of a quilt that you've made, right? And you want a table runner to go with it, you could take a picture of it and then just crop it, and then you could have an inset of that, or make a pillow to go with it, and you don't have to piece it. I didn't say that out loud. You want a quilt all day long. Okay, just a different option, right? Okay, now this is really a cool thing too. Now this is just a piece of the fabric, and I wrapped it around one of those artist canvases from the dollar store, and it's just really fun. I just am amazed at the photo quality that you get get with this printer. Now this one, and I'm going to show you how to do this too, but this one is really special to me. This is a photo that my father-in-law took of a sunflower from my mother-in-law's garden, and this is probably one of her favorite photos, which is really, it's just beautiful. It's just lovely. And what I did is I printed the sunflower, obviously, right? But if you look, I don't know, can we zoom in like right here? Here it comes. She's zooming. Okay, you see this print here and this print here? This is using this photograph. So in the app, and we're going to talk about that, the app, you can create fabric to coordinate using the same image. So now I have perfectly matching fabric that goes with my sunflower. Is that not the coolest thing? Now we've since lost my mother-in-law. So what a wonderful keepsake for my father-in-law, but to have something that is meaningful like this. And I think we all have someone that is special to us that we want to have a remembrance of, right? In one way or another. So speaking of that, you guys have probably heard me talk about the fact that we have the cutest little granddaughter ever, but unfortunately the family has moved to Idaho, so they're now 5.5 hours away, which isn't horrible. However, you're not going to go there after work, right? It's not going to happen. And when the printer came out, I thought, well, this is really cool. I'm going to take a picture of the baby and put it on something. Wouldn't that be sweet? It's so cute. But then I started thinking, I got all the pictures of that baby. I know what that baby looks like. My challenge is, will she remember who Grandma and Grandpa are? So I put my husband's face on this pillow, and now this can go to Idaho, and I can be assured that she won't forget who we are. My daughter says she won't forget, and we do FaceTime all the time, so that's not a problem. But anyway, this is just really a fun way to, I think she'll like it. Okay, so her mom and dad might get creeped out about having mom, dad, and the in-laws on a big old pillow. Maybe I should tell them they have to put it on their bed. No, don't do that. That's not nice. Okay, the other thing to know is that this is inkjet ink, and it is washable, and so you're fine with that. But since it is an inkjet ink, it could transfer. The ink might transfer a little bit when you don't want it to, right? So with that, if you're going to do something like a tote bag or something that you're going to get a lot of wear on, or it's going to be up against, like, you wear a tote bag, it's up against your body, right? And you don't want this to rub off on your beautiful white suede jacket, you can use it's an iron-on vinyl, you get it in the box. You get some that come in with the printer so you can try it, but then this will cover up that, and then it is waterproof, and you can wipe said spaghetti stains right off, right? Okay. All right, so that's really fun, and this is actually a project in Artsipira that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Now, the other thing I want you to think about is a project that might be vintage. Do we all have these, or you have someone who says, oh, you quilt? Could you fix my, and everyone has this really old quilt, which is absolutely lovely. Someone put so much time into it, but unfortunately the dogs got to it, right? Or a moth hole or something like that. Have you ever tried to source the proper fabric to match that? It's nearly impossible. So if you take a look here, you will, hold it in a good spot here. Look at this. I took a photo of the actual piece and was able to get a copy of the fabric. So that's something that you're going to be able to do as well. So you can repair and have that wonderful heirloom and get it repaired with a beautiful piece of cotton that is just perfect and ready to go. Okay? You with me? All right. So let's take a look at the printer. Now, this little guy is the easiest thing in the world to set up. I mean, it's so easy. When you plug it in, it's automatically going to turn on. It's ready to go, and it will walk you step by step through all the things that you need to do. So in this little screen here, it will say, you know, blah, 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 whatever it says, and then you do next and you do all the things. And there's really not a lot of things to do. Okay, now you are going to put in the ink. So we're going to, right here is where the ink goes. So you open this up and the ink just slips right in here. Here it is right here. And it's a bit, look at how big that tank is. That's really big. So you're going to slip it in here and then you put them in the corresponding colors, of course, because you want to match. And then that way it will print properly. So you want to match. You have a couple of different trays with it. In the back here, we have a bypass tray. So you could put envelopes or photo paper, things that you want to make down to small. You can even do like a 4x6 photo. And then you also could put your big ledger paper back here. And then you have a drawer right here for regular size paper. Okay, so it's a regular printer. So the cool thing about it is that you're going to be able to use this and get rid of the old printer. You know, printers don't last that long a lot of times when you just get a little inkjet printer. So this guy is going to last a while, and it can replace your old printer. And here's the tray, so when it comes out, it's supported. But here's the magic one. This is the drawer number 2, and it's the magic drawer. So when we pull this out, you're going to see that it holds a roll of fabric. And look here, here's a QR code that if you can't remember how to load your fabric, it's going to show you how to do that. But I want to take this out for right now because I want to show you how we load it because it's really easy. Now, you have a couple of things here. If you have this way, it shows a little piece of paper. Then you can put regular paper in here if you want to. We don't want to. We want to print on fabric. So that needs to be flipped up where you see the little roll. Okay, so this is what tells the printer what you're working with. So we want to make sure that that is that way. Okay, so I'm going to set this down this direction because I want to show you how to put a roll in. Now, my roll came unrolled a little bit, so I'm going to tighten it up a little bit here because you don't want it loosey-goosey. Now, if you're facing the drawer, right? Here, let's do it this way just for a second. It's facing you. You want the toilet paper coming over the top. This is how you're going to put it in, okay? So we're going to put it in with the flap or the loose piece of the fabric going in, and it's going to go underneath. Wrong way, wrong way. See that little plastic piece? It looks like a ski slope. You're going to put it under that, and then you're just going to roll it in. Now, I don't always have the best luck rolling it in, but here it's coming. Can you see it starting to come? There it goes. And you want to get all the way to the end. If you need to, you can lift this up and grab it and give it a pull. But your shiny side will be up. The shiny side is that backing on the fabric. You can see the reflection up here a little bit more right there. And then the dull side is down. Okay, and now we're just going to pop this in and put the tray back in. Another thing that you can do with this, if you so choose, is you can print on paper. And this is just child's artist easel paper that I got online. And it's a little bit, it's just a smidgy wider than that fabric roll. So sometimes you just have to take off, undo some of the paper to get it to feed smoothly in there. But this is not from Brother. This is just if you want to do a test print or you want to do something else. Works great if you have a long arm and you want to do a pantograph. You can print on the roll of paper. Okay, so let's just take that. Now we're going to come over here and look at the driving force of the PrintModa, which is the Artsipira app. So I have this on my smartphone. You can use, it's iOS and Android. So any device that's iOS or Android, so an iPad, Galaxy, whatever you're using. But it's a free app. You do not pay for this app unless you choose to get the premium subscription, which will give you more content. But that's up to you. So this, and what you're looking at here is the free app. Okay, so in here, you have all the stuff that runs the printer plus more. So you can look here, it says embroidery, it has cutting, printing, sublimation, projects, design templates, and even education. Education, I think, is really cool because when you come in here, it even has little YouTube videos of how to place an embroidery design in the right spot, that sort of thing. It has all that up there. Then it also has the magazines. Now the magazines, there's a new one every single month, and you can go back and you can look at the content from earlier months. But you get this, and this is free, so you can look at the articles. It has all these projects. So if I want to do this project here, I just click on the project. There's a YouTube video showing me how to do it, a picture and a list of materials, and then a step-by-step instructions on how to do it. If you have a Wi-Fi enabled embroidery machine, cutter, or printer that is Brother branded, then you can actually use the designs. So if you have a Brother Avenir or a Brother Luminaire, you can send the designs for that project right to your machine. In fact, if we're going to go back here, let's take a look. It even has the option to purchase Disney designs if you should so choose to add to your machine. But again, it must be a Brother Wi-Fi enabled machine. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, all right, so now let's look at some other fun things. So just real quick, there's new embroidery designs, and again, that's if you have a Wi-Fi enabled Brother machine. Then there's cutting designs, all sorts of things. There's things for sublimation and for printing, just tons of stuff every single month. But my favorite button is down here at the bottom, and it's new. See the little plus sign? Let's touch that. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to print something. So I'm just going to go into Design Editor because I want to bring in and do my own thing, and I am using a fabric roll and custom size. It says 11.69 inches by 36, and I want to erase that. Let's make it 10 inches and say create. Now I have options down here. If I go to the little box with the diagonals, then I can choose color, I can choose built-in fabric, things like that, or we can choose an image. And I'm going to go into my photos. I'll go to all photos, and let's go to recents, and I have this really cool one that I took. You have to go through all the crazy stuff to get to the cool stuff. Look at that. Is that not cool? Absolutely gorgeous. So that is ready to go, and now I can just say done, and it's going to ask you if you want to save it, and you can. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to say don't save, and I'm just going to say print. Now it gives you a warning. It says, hey, you're asking me to print 10 inches. Do you have enough fabric? Well, that's a brand new roll, so we know we do. So we just say okay, and off it goes, and it's going to start printing, which is pretty fabulous. Here it goes. Okay, so this is going to continue on, and it's sending, and it goes through the whole percentage of the setting, like it's at 70% now. One thing you want to make sure that you do when you're sending designs through your app is that you don't have your low power mode on, because if the phone shuts down and goes dark, then it interrupts that send. So you want it to stay okay. Oh, look, it's already done. Okay, and it even says, please remove the fabric, and say, okay, look at that beautiful print. Is that not cool? Now we still have the shiny back on that, so we're going to lay it flat, and we want that to stay just laying flat for 15 minutes for that ink to dry. That is really beautiful. Okay, that's the first time I printed that one. So now let's take a look back at the app. We're going to say okay, and I'm going to say cancel, and I'm going to go back and cancel, discard. Now, instead of going into Design Editor, we're going to go into Geometric Patterns. Now, and I'm going to do Custom Size again because I'm on that roll, right? We're on a roll. All right, so don't worry, my kids roll their eyes too. Okay, so now we're going to say Create, and here's our work area. But right now, it is bringing in, it's loading in the built-in patterns. There's tons of them that are in the Artsipira app. But I'm going to go to Image, and I'm going to go grab that same butterfly. Let's go to Recents. Let's go find him. Here it is. There it is right here. Now, it doesn't look the same, does it? That's because in this area, it's using a triangular piece of that original design and creating a kaleidoscope effect. And this is how I did the sunflowers. So now down on the bottom, there's a little triangle and it says Piece. So if we touch that, then we can choose different sections from our original image. Oh, that I like. Oh, that's pretty too. Do we have any? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, done. And then we've got, I think that's really, really interesting, isn't it? And so now, and you can even change the size if we want to, so we can take it, ooh, that's small. You can make it bigger. Oh, that's cool too. But I kind of like the way it was at 100%. So let's go back to our 100. And you can see this app is so user-friendly. So now we're going to say done. It says, do you want to save it? I don't want to save it. You can save, I think, like 20 things in your little cloud thing. And then if you get full, it tells you, and then you have to delete something. And then we're just going to say print, and then it's going to print up the new thing. So I'm going to make sure it gets through all of the percentage of sending before I show you the next thing, because I want to show you how to make that banner, because that's pretty cool. Okay, now it's okay. And I am going to go back. So we're going to go back here, and I'm going to show you how to make that banner. So I'm going to say cancel and cancel, discard, and now I'm going to go to the home button. Let's go to print. There we are. And now here's our projects. So if you want to, I'm going to show you labels too, but let's go look at our banner first. And there's holiday seasons and celebrations. So here's the one that I used for my son and Maddie. And you can choose the length right here. I'm going to just leave it and say create. So what it gives you is a preview of their mock-up. It has Jessica and William. It has no real date. It says welcome to the wedding of, and then it has a picture of this couple that we do not know. So I'm going to come in here and let's just touch on Jessica and William, and we're going to go down here to the pencil. Pencil always means edit, and then we could choose a different font if we want. Oh, that's pretty, but I want to change the name, so I'm going to touch the keyboard and put in Nate and Maddie, and then done there, and now it says Nate and Maddie. And by the way, they know I made this and that I'm sharing it with you, so they're okay with it. Okay, let's change that date, and we're going to come down here to the date, and we're going to change that because there's no year on there, so I could simply just come in here and put an 025, which is not correct, but that's okay. You get the idea. Now let's go back to this, to Nate and Maddie right there. Another thing that we could do, which I didn't show you, is we can change the color. So look at all these colors that we have. So, you know, maybe I want to do a dark navy, or maybe I want to do a purple that matches the flowers a little bit more. So you can do whatever you want to. Now, the picture, still, it's a great picture, but we don't know them. So now in the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to touch change. Okay, so right down here, change. So we touch that, and then you can go in to all photos, and then let's find one. This is the only one I got, and that's my husband and myself, but hey, you know, you can see how you would change it, right? Isn't that cool? And then you could just, you can save it, or you can just print it out right there. Awesome, awesome. Okay, oh, I wanted to show you the quilt labels, discard, because this is really, really cool. So we're going to go back here and let's go to labels. The labels are under different sections here. So let's choose this one right here. This one, when we say we'll leave the size the same, so it's 2.4 inches by 3 on the small and 3.5 by 4.5. Let's go for the medium. And then it is going to bring it in. Now when it comes in, you're going to see you don't have just one label, you're going to have 4 labels because that's more efficient with your efforts, right? And this says handmade by Jessica, which is great, but what if you're making some labels for other people? So maybe this is for my friend, I gotta undo, there we go, Alyssa, yay, so that's done. Now it says Alyssa, and this one is gonna be for my friend Carrie, and done. And then this one will be for my, well, that's close, but let's do this one for my friend Jessie because Jessie helped me out this morning and was so kind. But this way you can print on one label, you can get a whole bunch of different people on there, right? You can have it different topics. So a lot of the quilt labels won't just say handmade by Reva or whatever. You can, it will say, especially for Jessica, with love from Aunt Reva, or whatever you want it to say. So you can customize those and then you can make up a whole bunch of different labels. And didn't that turn out cool? That is so, so cool. Imagine making a tote bag or maybe a placemat and having a coordinating fabric that matches exactly to go with it. So we're going to let that dry, and when it dries, then we just peel off that backing and you're good to go. You don't need to heat set it or anything. So I hope that makes you see how easy this little guy is to use. It's probably the easiest printer I've ever hooked up. It's simply amazing. So anyway, go have fun with it and download the Artsipira app and start playing with it, because even if you don't have the printer, you're going to be inspired by the magazine and all those sort of things that are in there and get some great ideas. And you can always watch those lessons under education and see the videos on placement and other different tips there. So it's really a useful app no matter what brand of machine that you have, but definitely a winner when you get into the PrintModa and the Wi-Fi enabled Brother embroidery machines. And of course the scan and cut, the Wi-Fi scan and cut works great with that. In fact, there's projects that work with both embroidery and scan and cut. And also if you get the sublimation printer, it works great for that. So anyhow, have fun with it. Get it out of the box. All you have to do is plug it in and put in the ink and your roll of fabric, which comes in the box, and you're ready to rock and roll and start playing. So have a great time, and we look forward to seeing you at our next How Do I?